Virgo. You feel that tightness in your chest when you think about a certain situation. That's not anxiety. That's your system trying to warn you something's headed your way and it's not pretty. And it's moving faster than you think. I'm not here to sugarcoat this one, you guys. Some readings are about love coming and opportunities opening and beautiful transformations. This one's different. This one's about what happens when situations you've been avoiding finally catch up, when consequences you've been outrunning show up at your door, when the mess you saw building in the distance suddenly isn't distant anymore. Take what applies, leave the rest. But if your stomach dropped reading that title, you already know this is for you. So, what's coming? Could be truth you haven't wanted to face about a person, about a situation, about yourself. Truth that's been hiding under polite conversation and surface level interactions. Truth that people have been too nice to say directly, or truth you've been working really hard not to see because seeing it means having to do something about it. And that truth is about to become unavoidable. Someone's probably going to say something or do something, or a situation is going to blow up in a way that forces everything into the open. The stuff you've been sweeping under the rug's getting pulled. Maybe it's about someone's real intentions finally showing. You've had suspicions, little moments that didn't sit right, things that didn't add up, but you talked yourself out of your gut feelings, gave benefit of the doubt, wanted to believe the best. And this person let you believe whatever kept you comfortable and available and not asking too many questions. But something's about to happen that makes their real motives crystal clear. Could be you're going to find out they've been lying about where they are, who they're with, what they want from you. Could be you're going to discover they've been playing you, saying one thing to your face and something completely different behind your back. Or maybe it's professional, someone at work who's been friendly to your face but working against you behind the scenes, taking credit for your ideas, undermining you to management, positioning themselves to take opportunities that should be yours, and you're about to find out just how deep that betrayal goes. Could be financial trouble hitting, something you've been ignoring because dealing with it felt overwhelming, debt that's been accumulating, bills you've been putting off, a situation where you've been hoping it would somehow resolve itself if you just didn't look at it directly. But hope isn't a strategy, and whatever you've been avoiding is about to demand attention whether you're ready or not. Medical stuff for some of you, symptoms you've been dismissing as stress or getting older or nothing serious. That voice in your head saying you should probably get that checked that you keep silencing. Your body's been trying to tell you something and you've been too scared or too busy or too in denial to listen, and things might escalate to the point where you can't ignore them anymore. Relationship implosion. You've known something's been wrong, known things haven't been right for months, maybe years, but you've been holding on, hoping it'll get better, scared to be alone, scared to start over, scared to admit you've wasted time on something that's been dead for a while. And one of you is about to hit a breaking point that forces the conversation you've both been avoiding. Here's the thing about ugly situations moving fast: they don't announce themselves politely, they crash in, they disrupt everything, they force your hand when you weren't ready to make a move. Why now? Why is this happening now? Because you've had time. You've had opportunities to address this yourself on your terms when you had control and you didn't take them. Not because you're bad or weak or stupid, but because humans avoid uncomfortable things. We put off hard conversations. We hope problems solve themselves. We choose temporary comfort over long-term resolution. But life has a way of forcing what we won't choose voluntarily. And when we ignore warnings, when we dismiss red flags, when we refuse to deal with what needs dealing with, eventually the universe stops asking nicely. It just acts, and the action is rarely gentle. Some of you are thinking, how do I stop this? You probably can't. If this is already in motion, if consequences are already approaching, trying to stop them might just make things messier. What you can do is prepare. Get your defenses ready, line up your support, clear your schedule and your headspace for dealing with whatever's coming. Don't waste energy denying this could happen to you. If this reading found you, if something in your gut recognized this message, trust that. Your intuition brought you here for a reason. It's trying to give you a heads up so you're not completely blindsided when impact happens. What does preparation actually look like? Get honest with yourself first. What have you been avoiding looking at directly? What truth have you been skirting around? Write it down if you need to. Face it privately before you're forced to face it publicly. Because dealing with hard truth alone in your journal is way easier than dealing with it in the middle of a crisis with witnesses. Secure your resources. Money, if you can, time, energy. Make sure you've got some cushion, because ugly situations eat resources. They demand attention and bandwidth and sometimes actual dollars. Don't let yourself be caught completely depleted when this hits. Tell someone you trust what's happening. Not for advice necessarily, just so you're not alone in knowing. So when things get messy, there's someone who already has context, who won't need the whole backstory explained while you're in crisis mode, who can just show up and help. Make a plan for worst case scenario. What happens if the ugliest version of this comes true? What do you do? Where do you go? Who do you call? Having an emergency plan doesn't make bad things happen. It just means you won't be paralyzed if they do. And here's what you need to know about surviving ugly, fast-moving situations. They don't last forever. Right now, it feels like this is going to destroy you. Like you won't survive the impact. Like your life as you know it is about to end. And some version of that might be true. Your life as you know it might change dramatically, but that's different than ending. That's transformation. And transformation, even brutal transformation, has an other side. People survive ugly. They survive betrayal. They survive financial collapse. They survive relationship implosion. They survive health scares. Not because they're special or stronger than you, but because survival is what humans do when there's no other option. You'll do what needs doing. not perfectly, not gracefully, but you'll do it. You'll handle what you have to handle because the alternative is giving up, and that's probably not actually an option for you. One more thing. When this hits, when the ugly arrives and it's as bad or worse than you feared, remember that people show you who they really are during crisis. Not during the good times when being supportive costs nothing, during the mess, during the chaos, during the moments when helping you is inconvenient or uncomfortable or requires them to show up in ways they'd rather not. Pay attention to who stays, who answers the phone, who shows up without being asked, who handles your ugly without making you feel worse about it. Those people are your real circle. Everyone else is just scenery. And pay attention to who disappears, who ghosts when you need them, who makes your crisis about them, who judges you for being in a mess instead of helping you get out of it. That information is valuable, painful, but valuable. Better to know now than to keep those people in positions of trust they've proven they don't deserve. This is coming fast. You can feel it already, can't you? That sense of something building, something approaching, that feeling like you're running out of time to get ahead of whatever this is. You probably are running out of time, which means you need to use whatever time you have left wisely. Not to panic, not to spiral, but to prepare, to get yourself as ready as possible for impact, because it's coming. And it's going to be exactly as ugly as you're afraid it will be. Maybe uglier, but you're going to get through it. Not because I'm promising you will, but because you don't actually have a choice. You're going to get through it because that's what happens next. That's the only direction available. Brace yourself, not with fear, with readiness, with clear eyes and grounded energy and whatever strength you can gather before this thing arrives at your door. You've survived hard things before. This will be another one you survive. Another story you tell later about how bad it was and how you made it through anyway. Get ready